That's
Mm-hmm.
250 million.
Wow.
It helps you when you stand on the shoulders of people who know this thing back to back.
Hi there, my name is Ebun.
Ebun is a serial entrepreneur and the CEO and founder of Jam the Coconut Food Company, an integrated coconut processing company that serves the food, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical market in Nigeria and across Africa. Her achievement has been featured on many news outlets and including the British Broadcasting Corporation BBC website. She has a background in media and has worked in the media space for close to 20 years. As an expert in the food processing industry and agriculture value chain, she has done a lot of work in training and educating people in starting their own agribusiness journey.
3, 2, 1, and coconut!
Jam, the coconut food company, started. There are two sides to the story of how it started. It started with, first of all, me growing up in Ibadan and growing up around a lot of green and agriculture. My mother studied agriculture. My grandfather, cocoa merchant. So I kind of had that in my heritage.
All right.
But then, so I'd always been interested. Like I love flowers. If you come to my house, you see flowers everywhere. You know, I like to see things grow. So I'd always been interested in an investment in agriculture. So that's sort of like a backstory. But the specific story of how this started was two things. First, I, like many people, have always been lactose intolerant. Many people of African descent have always been lactose intolerant. And I just kind of, you know, when your body really doesn't like something and you just do shangri and just be like, you know, I'll suffer the consequences. But as you get older, your body really can't deal with that so much anymore. And so one December in 2015, I had a really bad reaction to milk. And my body was just like, enough is enough. I don't want this. And that's when I started exploring plant-based milk. And because I live in Lagos, and Lagos is the largest producer of coconuts in Nigeria.
Yeah, in the coastal area.
It was just a natural sort of inclination to try coconut milk, right? And so I tried it and I loved it and started sort of sharing with friends and all of that, and they loved it. And then, you know, it went on like that. Around the same time, we had a family recipe for a coconut banana bread, which my kids used to make, and they used to sell it in fairs and stuff like that. And so that was going off sort of at the same time, and the coconut milk was going off at the same time, and the kids were thriving. They were, you know,
I saw some of their
go for
videos.
kids fairs and you saw their videos, and they'll sell out, you know. And so we just thought, okay, what else can we do with coconuts?
Well, Ebun, I know that you're a serial entrepreneur. You have, in fact, you do all sorts of things. You're one of those who are gifted with too many talents. But when you decided to go into taking agriculture, because you had this trip to India that changed your perception about, you know, agri. Absolutely. Tell me about it.
And then we started working with, coconut oil. I started doing research. And then I had the opportunity to go to India for a conference. And then I just said to them, listen, I'm all conferenced out, but if you guys can hook me up with any companies that process coconuts, I will come for this conference and then go and do some training. And so that was a very pivotal moment, going to India, going to the south of India, where they have more of the coconut plantations and companies, and learning a lot from them and seeing the value chain and how much you could get from this one nut. So
this is one of the questions I actually want to ask you about, because you mentioned India. So being in India, so I'm just curious to know the importance of like training, or maybe finding information, relevant information that can help in anything anybody want to do. How important is that?
I think it is absolutely important, because if you're going into something new, it helps you when you stand on the shoulders of people who know this thing back to back, rather than just trying to spend 5 or 10 years making mistakes, doing research, you know, and all of that. You'll still make mistakes, but
Yeah.
you just shorten the amount of time that you spent in beta mode, kind of.
Yeah.
So that I think is just absolutely critical. Just finding people, and it doesn't even have to be in Nigeria. You don't even have to travel anywhere. You can get the
Yeah.
information from the internet.
Mhm.
The internet is abundant in terms of resources and information.
Yeah. So what are the value chain in the coconut industry?
Value chain is very vast.
Okay.
Let me start from coconut seedlings. We have 2 planting months in the year, or planting seasons in the year, June and October, during the rainy season. And because coconuts have become so popular, most people now want to farm coconuts. They want to plant and grow, want to have their own plantations. If you go to the market, one coconut right now is about 500 naira.
500 naira. Oh, wow.
So imagine somebody that has 2,500 trees, and each tree produces 200 nuts. So 2,500 trees times 200 nuts in a year, that's 500,000 nuts. So 500,000 nuts times 500 naira, that's 250 million naira.
Wow.
So the business of seedlings is one thing. So before you can have a farm, you have to buy the seedlings and plant the seedlings. So the seedlings is one. Then obviously the coconuts is another. Once you have a farm, you're going to sell the coconuts. Either you sell it to companies that process, or you process it yourself, or you sell it in the market.
Right.
But you're going to sell the coconuts, and you're going to earn money.
Yeah.
You're going to earn money from that. And again, marketers of coconuts are making a lot of money as well. Then let's go to the tree and the nut. You can make coconut sap or coconut sugar. So the sap can be converted to sugar, and that's tapped from the tree.
Oh, really? It's the first time I'm hearing that.
Yeah. And then you can take the nut, the husk, you have the husk of the coconut.
Yeah.
So the husk now, you can grind it. You see cocoa pits on our website.
Yeah, I saw that on your website, yeah.
You grind the husk to produce cocoa beans. Very critical for nurseries, or raising seedlings in a nursery, any kind of seedling. Then after the husk, you go to the shell.
Yeah.
The shell, you're producing briquettes, you're producing bowls, you're producing charcoal. Those are things you can produce from the shell. Then the white flesh. You can make flakes, oil, anything. Then the water. You can make coconut water, bottle it, coconut vinegar, and so on and so forth. So,
what were the things that you saw, though? Because I find it interesting that you can take a little product like that and turn it into so many things.
Yes, I found that there was no part of the coconut that goes to waste. And that is actually true to many products, but especially so of the coconut. So the coconut shell is valuable. You can make pots and potted plants out of it. You can make it into activated charcoal. The coconut shaft makes coconut flour. You make oil out of it. You make milk out of it. So we just thought, okay, this is one product which we have in abundance. We're in Lagos. We've got miles and miles of kilometers of land for coconut production, and so we thought, let's just use this. And yeah.
So because you are there, you've been there and done it, or let me just say you are still doing it, you are still in the industry, and so there might be people that would be interested to want to do what you do. Do you have a platform or a training program or workshop where you kind of train upcoming people that are interested?
I don't know about been there, done that. So, life is a journey, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning, but I do a lot of training. I do a lot of training with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. I do with IITA. I do with Oyo State, where I'm actually trained by IITA to train female agro processors in just any part of the value chain at all. because basically a lot of the templates that you use for one product, you can really use for the others, you know. So yeah, we do quite a bit of that. And this year we've actually I think we've trained about 37 women in Oyo State in April. I think it was April.
Okay.
And then in July I trained about 50 to 60 of the directors in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay.
So it's ongoing. So power is one of the challenges. Power is one of the challenges because the cost of paying for power is really high in Nigeria. If you run diesel generators, so power is a big challenge for us. With every challenge we face, we are pushed to reinvent ourselves to find a better solution. But if those challenges don't come, you always feel like, oh, you know, this is a good place. So those challenges of operating expenses or our operating our cash flow tied up with distributors from delayed payments forces us to think outside of the box and look for sort of new so those are the challenges I think that are the major challenges.
Okay.
We have about 15 SKUs.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you whether is there any particular product that is like the most popular of your product, like the one that a lot of people.
It's definitely. Please, can you hear me pass our coconut cinnamon balls? It's our coconut cinnamon balls.
Okay.
They are the flagship product, and they're sold all over the world, and they're loved all over the world.
Okay.
But I think right behind it, this is it.
Right. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. That's really good. Oh, cinnamon. Right. Okay. So in terms of cinnamon, then where does cinnamon come from? The raw material, is that from Nigeria as well?
We have cinnamon in Nigeria.
Okay.
We have cinnamon in Tanzania. We have cinnamon in Africa.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So in terms of your product, then where can people find your product? Say somebody just want to buy one of your products, where can they find your products?
www.jamcoconutfoods.com.
Right. Okay.
If they're in Nigeria, every single ShopRite in Nigeria has our products.
Oh, ShopRite. Okay. Right. Okay.
All the ShopRite outlets nationwide.